In this video, I want to share some basic knowledge about event in Qt framework. Every time we create a project, we have the main entry point, and we always see this Q application or Q core application, Q GUI application, based on which kind of project we want to create, and this exec, these functions. And this function is actually a short way to call execution. Start a event loop. This event loop keep asking the operation system about some user behavior like mouse clicking and the keyboard typing. This operation system like Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and so on has their own hardware driver. These things, and with this operation system, and they have an interface with Qt framework. And then we get this, let's call event. And the Qt framework will create objects called Q event and put this Q event in a Q event queue. Event queue. And then from this event queue, most of the time we are dealing these events in our program. So in our program, we have for specific object, the one we want to react the users or any other events, we have to define how to handle the event by overwriting the event function. To be more specific, there's something like mouse press event, for example. There's so much, and this is just handling every event come to this object. So like I said, most of the time we are dealing with this part, but sometimes we are also dealing this part. If we want to have some event that create in our program, we will post. There is a method called post event. Post event, and you have the priority to set where you want to post, here or here. For example, here is in, here is out. This queue with this priority, and there is also like send event, which directly put this event here. And there's more functions. Since we have a brief understanding of how a Q event is being generated, let's concentrate on how to handling the Q event. So we have a Q event coming, and then we will handle this Q event with this event function. This event function will return a Boolean value. In this event function, we can handle different kind of events. Something like mouse, keyboard, and timer, something like that. And that's a huge amount of different kind of events. And each event has different behavior. Let's say action 1, different kind of actions. And all these actions, for example, left mouse click, in Qt it's called left button. All these things can be handled in the event and can be re-implemented by the programmer to realize different kind of functions. And after you handling this specific behavior, you always return the boolean with true. In that case, the Qt framework understand that this behavior, specific behavior, for example here, is being handled. And if this specific and the rest behavior, for example, the right button click and the middle button click and double click, this kind of behavior, if it's not being handled, we should call the base class function again, based on which object you are created from, which class, and then you will call this event again with your event. And I will show this in the program. And what I want to make more clear here is that the things when we are not handling and we call this, so we have two ways. One way, handling return true, and not handling the event, and we call this base class method again, and which means it will automatically pass to the event to the more specific functions. For example, just call this mouse press event, timer event, and so on. And these things is like too easy to understand. They are like sub methods of events. It's more specific of special event. Let's say call it we can maybe call it event group, different kind of event group. And here we can only decide this is specifically for mouse press, so we can say this is left button clicked, right button clicked, this kind of things. And this can also be override by the programmer to realize specific function. If all these event handling functions are not being re-implemented by the programmer, the Qt framework will take care of all the by itself, and nothing specific can be realized. So since we want to realize something, what we interested in doing our program is re-implement and handling the specific functions. And don't forget this part. So the Qt framework can handle the specific handle the rest behavior of the user. Since we are not interested, it's a safe way to do that. So we don't have to take care of all the possibilities. And I will show you in the program. Okay, here I'm going to repeat it again. We have the Q event come, and we have the event. We handle it, return true. We not handled, we call this this base class event again. Let's for example, Q object method, and call this Q event again. If we return true, we didn't come here anymore. But if here, let's say we return true and not coming anymore. If we call this again, the specific events will be implemented and code. Let's see the program. Let's make an example. Create a simple application and QWidget on a generate form. It will be a very plain window that there's nothing on it, but after doing specific keyboard or mouse click, there should be some reactions. Here I'm going to demo how to I'm going to put keyboard event, and of course the event I'm going to put to and output something. So okay, we want to react some keyboard pressing, so we are going to override some, say, key press event. This event handling method will handle some keyboard event. We just need to implement it here with our wishes, what we want to do when we get the keyboard pressed. So we have, in this case, we want to handle, let's say simply output something, press the key and output the key, and this is going to be int. We are going to just cast it, static cast, and let's see how it looks like. We press the key. This is what we get when we are under this, sorry, when we are under this window, which is widget. So this widget will react to key press when you implement the key press event method. So when we are under this, any key press will react. And for example, here I'm typing something. Definitely I'm not in the activate the widget window, which of course, and in this case it will react. And let's see, we want to handle more things, and we want to cut the key press event when, for example, when we press some specific key, and this should not do something as we wish, but we will do something else. So we are going to handle this boss. In this boss, first we saw the difference here. The object is Q event, this is Q key event. He is this key event is a subclass of Q event. So in this case, we have to handle if this event, what type of this event. It can be mouse, key, timer, and lots of user created, programmer created event. But here in our case, we have to figure out which Q event it is, and the Q event has a enum list that can be found in the help data. In this case, I would press F1 and see this. This is all different kind of event enum that what I key press here is. You can also use these numbers, but most of the time when you have more experience, you will know which enum name you will use, and this Qt creator environment will automatically output. and give some hint for you to take the enum name. And when the type is this one, in this situation, what we are going to do, here is exactly here, somehow. And here is every key will be handled by this behavior, just print something. And in this case, what we are going to do, we are going to first, like I mentioned, the key event and events, there you have to cast it. First, we have the event static cast and key event pointer and event, and then we have this event, our key event object. What we are going to do, we are going to see if this key is, for example, A, and if it's A, we are going to handle it. What we are going to handle, or also do something like print out something, press just key, make some difference, key, cast event. Here is K event, and sorry, event key, and we want to make more difference, say handle by event. And I'm going to put this part here, also behind this to identify. Of course, I will call it key press event. So when we have press some keyboard, and this method will be called first, and when it get A, he will handle it this way, and he will tell the key press event, or in this case, this is being handled, which is return true. It's being handled, and this should not do nothing. Of course, we will not print this A in this one, so in this case, and the rest should be handled. We don't want to handle in our event. We want all the rest possibilities, key press, mouse press, timer, handled by Qt framework itself. And we are going to call the base class method. And let's see how it looks like. Some arrow missing before string here. Okay, we have this here. We press different keyboard, handled by key press event, but when we press A, it's handled by event. Like we say, this will not be handled by the key press event, because this is like more, let's say, how to call it, that's take more control. It's like the main gate, and all this is like your room gate, something like that. Well, forgive my English, but that's it. And thanks for watching. And I would like to introduce another event installer, event filter in the next video. One more time, conclusion that we have Qt event from the Qt framework. What we care is we get this, and we are going to handle in our program with event method by overwriting it and realize specific function. And when we handle it, we will say true, which goes this way. When we didn't handle it, we are going to call our parent method event again. So the parent method will basically, based on the event which is not being handled, will pass to the specific. Here is example. Specific event handling. Here has a lot. Based on your functions, you can find different event handling methods in the Qt help data. It's very helpful to understand what's this concept here. So once you understand what's this Qt event being handled and who's has the more priority handling the things, any of this kind of functions you can use with any time. And that's basically it. Thanks for watching, and I will introduce the Q event filter in the next video.